Hello everyone, I hope you all are well. I just thought I'd come on and do a quick show and tell of these books that I got recently. So these are the sort of books that I would generally, I wouldn't feel bad about cutting them up and using them in books, in my journals. So I just thought you might like to see them really, because I picked them up for very, relatively cheap. This was £2.50. And what I like about this book is the different coloured pages and also the lovely writing, the lovely font. And it changes on different pages. And I just think these sort of images are really pretty. But I love the colours of the pages as well. We've got little vignettes like this, and then some of the pages are glossy and some are not. And I'm not sure why that is. So this page, for example, isn't glossy, but some of them are, which yeah, so I thought you might like to see that. Maybe you could find one. I mean, that's so sweet. Lovely poetry. So this one is about the seasons. It's written in, let's see, 81. Oh, reprinted 1993. So, that 1992. So that's not very old, so again, wouldn't worry me if it just it's meant to look old, and it obviously has images from old, well, I assume it's been reproduced. Yeah, it was compiled in the 1880s, so it's a reproduction of a book that was written in the 1880s, which is interesting. So that's the first one. Probably quite a few of you will know this book. This is in really lovely condition, and it's the Country Flowers of a Victorian Lady, not to be confused with the other one that we all know. And this one was published, it says 1999, so I assume it wasn't republished. So yeah, and again, this has some really pretty floral images. It's got some really beautiful font text and images. Again, very similar in a way to the last one in that respect. But look at these borders, just gorgeous. Just really beautiful. I mean, again, I would not feel bad about cutting this one up. I generally, modern books I wouldn't really have a big problem with if I knew that they were readily available on the internet to buy or in bookshops. And I think these are, if you Google them, you could probably pick these up very easily. So that's the second one. And then this one, the Country Diary Book of Flowers, Pressing, Drying, Pressing and Potpourri. And I really like this. I think that's, would look like a really nice, just have a look at the back of this. I think this was £2, and I think the fact that it's got one of these plastic covers makes me think it's a library book. But, oh yeah, should have looked at that first. Anyway, so yeah, another really nice book. Some lovely, I'll just check you can see. Oh yeah, sorry, you're not fully in. I'm going to pull you back a little bit just so you can see a bit more of it. There we go. So another nice book. Pages that I would happily use. I mean, look at those, they're gorgeous. They're glossy or semi-glossy, but I think that you could get a lot out of a book like this. And they're just lovely. So yeah, very nice. So yeah, keep an eye open, and if you like this sort of thing, I mean, that in itself would make a really nice page in a book, or part of a page, and again that. And I love these sorts of arrangements, you know, making arrangements. And oh wow, look at that, very nice on these. And there's some useful information in them as well. So yeah, there you go. So I haven't just come on to tell you about these, but to show you these books. I came on because I haven't been on for a little while, and I just thought it would be nice to maybe do a little video, maybe a making video. I'm still a little bit hesitant in some ways, because yeah, I get you know, when I'm making a book, I get really focused on that book, and to try and make something on camera for that book, it just sort of distracts me a little bit, so I'm a little bit wary of doing that. I am in the middle of a book. I'll just give you a quick flash. Let's just see. Not really in. Yeah, so there you go. So there's a book here. This is for my niece, and I'm in the middle of making it. It's almost there, it just needs more work, but I've used this beautiful paper. It's a soft cover, and I've been making ephemera for it. It's been quite hard. I think it's the third version of a book that I've tried to make for her. She's a young woman, 19, and it's hard to know really what to put in it. She has liked my books in the past, but a personal journal is something else. So yeah, just trying to make something that I think will fit her. And so yeah, that's what I'm doing. But anyway, so I just thought I'd make some, rather than focus on that today, I just thought I'd make some general little pieces of ephemera to go in other books. So I've got some pages here to use. Got lots of scraps and things out as well. So I quite like these bits. So some of them, some of them are taken from freebies off the internet, off I'm going to say libraries. That one, I'm sure it was, and I just obviously made 4 of them. I did have another page similar to this, which had a lovely poem on as well, but so obviously I didn't finish because it doesn't stop there, so it says clap your hands and. Anyway, nice image. So I obviously didn't read it properly. Got some of these like freebies off a Facebook page, which is amazing, and I'm grateful for those. That's a ruby and pearl. But yeah, I mean, I got those, and these are from a book. I really like to use those. I photocopy them from a book, and then these, again, freebies. I mean, they're just gorgeous. So I thought I would do something with the square ones, and I just thought I'd make some little cards, some journaling cards. I might make some of the other things as well, but yeah, I thought I'd focus on these for a minute. So yeah, as I said, I hope you're all well. I'm just going to do some tearing. I hope you had a nice Easter. It's been that long since I've been on. Well, they're just gorgeous, aren't they? Really lovely. Right, now I made a mistake there, didn't I? I'm not sure I would normally leave borders. So I'm going to have to try and get those little bits off. Probably have to cut them. And I have to be honest, I'm a terrible cutter. Oh, that worked reasonably well. So I'm going to have to cut them. There's no way they're going to be able to do that. So I hope I'm staying in focus. And yeah, I mean already that's wonky. Yeah, I'll just cut them. So I've got my door open today in my cabin because it is a little bit warmer, thank goodness, because honestly, I found the early spring this year has been awful. We've had periods, I don't know about where you live, but I live in the southeast of England in Berkshire, and we have had you know, sort of like maybe an afternoon where the sun has come out and the ground has warmed up, or the air's warmed up a little bit for a couple of hours, but nothing you know, really satisfactory. So yeah, I found it quite hard, I'll be honest. I don't like the cold anymore, and it never used to bother me. So what I've done is I've been ripping up little bits of paper before I came on. Yeah, okay. And what I'm going to do is just sort of give them a border. I'm going to scrunch them up first, just to give them a little bit more sort of, I don't know, character, if you like. And I tend to use if there is one, I tend to use the sort of less shiny side. I mean, the side that is shiny isn't that shiny, but you know. Right. Okay. Maybe a bit more. Oops. I know this has got a rip in it. Let me just see how we go with that. With the fits. Oh yeah, there's plenty of room on there. So I'm just going to lay it on and rip around it a little bit. No, it's better that way. And as I say, I'm not worried about if it's ripped a little bit, because it won't really, I don't intend to leave a large border or anything like that. I don't know about you, I tend to rip more comfortably from this side. Didn't go brilliantly, but it doesn't matter. As I was saying, weather, yeah, I mean, I just find winter's harder and harder as I get older, and that bothers me, because, you know, I like to think that, you know, I embrace all the seasons, but wow, I mean, I think when the winters are a bit shorter, I think that's when I feel okay about it, but when they're too long, it just bothers me a lot. I think that's okay, because I can sort of scrunch them up a little bit. I'll do the other one. I use those little bits, by the way, and I never waste anything, which is a bit of a problem, because I'm always hoarding. Right, I'm going to put it in the middle there. Yeah, I've been watching lots of videos, getting ideas, but I never seem to translate them into actually doing, or rarely. I have seen people do this, so but, you know, I can't ever remember. Make the border on this one a little bit bigger, I think. There we go. Okay, so these tiny bits I won't keep, I don't think. Maybe just a couple of bits. So yeah, I have been coming into the cabin and working. It's just sort of been, you know, just been a little bit quiet. Actually, I'm not going to leave it that big. Although I quite like leaving a little bit of space down there for adding things. So I may do that. I'm going to find it's blue on that one. Sorry about this. I'm just going to ink the borders. I do like to ink. Not always, but when laying something down on top of something else, I think it just helps to distinguish the edges, and I like that. It just makes it pop a little bit more. But I'm not too heavy-handed usually, anyway. I'm going to get up in a minute and close the door because I think you might be able to hear the traffic, and I didn't think about that. I don't live on a heavy road. I live in a small road, but I can hear the traffic myself. So I'm just going to get up and close the door a little bit. Hopefully it will help. Right, sorry if I knocked the camera then. So yeah, so I'm just going to glue these on. I've just got my mat that I tend to do the gluing on. I'm sure we all have these things to glue, and some people do it on book pages, but I don't have any books that I would use for that. I don't have those sorts of books. I mean, I could get some, it just hasn't occurred to me when I've been out and about to get. I'm always focused on getting books that are, see, I've put way too much on there. Spread, oh dear. I've never used this glue before, it's a new one for me. There we go. I think I might have put the wrong one on there, but it doesn't matter. It's not like it's the wrong one, but yeah, I think I've meant that one for the other one, but I can't remember now. Terrible memory. Right, let's do the other one. So, yeah, maybe I should use some old books that are getting. I could go to my local charity shop and ask them if they've got anything that they're, you know, just throwing in the rubbish, and then if they are, then I could maybe use those. Oh, this is really pretty. Gotta try and get it a bit in the centre at least. Well, that's not centred at all. There we go, sorry if I'm out. There you go, how easy was that? Right. So I'll do a little bit more, and then what I might do is I'm just going to let the glue dry a little bit before I start fiddling with them, because you know, I tend to smudge the ink on them when I do that. So I'm going to do these two as well, and just put them to one side. I haven't really got anything to tell you. Oh no, I need to learn my lesson, don't I, a little bit, and try and rip in the right place. Yeah, I don't think I've got anything to say really. I did have a nice quiet Easter. My sister visited, so that was nice, and yeah, I'm going to cut that. It was nice. It was a distraction having her here, which was lovely. And my niece visited as well, the one that I'm making the book for, Ellie. She's lovely, 19 and full of life and plans for a future. And yeah, so she came and stayed as well. So it wasn't busy because they were, you know, we had a fairly quiet time. We weren't sort of overly busy or anything like that. We were just relaxing really, and cooking food and eating a bit of chocolate and that sort of thing. Taking the dog for a walk. My sister has a dog who's quite young. She was a Romanian rescue puppy, but she was actually I'm not sure how old she was, but she was still a bit of a puppy, and she's very boisterous and full of beans. So she, you know, she's all over the place. My dog Ralph is old now. He's 15 and he's only got 3 legs, and he's an old terrier dog. Bit grumpy at times, but not hugely grumpy actually. He's just a bit of a granddad. And he doesn't go out anymore. He goes out, but he won't go for a walk anymore. He just refuses to walk, and I can't blame him. 3 legs in the age of 15. He's doing really well, but you know, he just sits down. He wants to sniff, you know, go around, sniff the ground, sniff the grass, and corners of, you know, pavements and things like that, but he doesn't want to walk, so it just makes it really difficult. And I have a really bad back. You know, I really struggle with pain. It's something that I deal with on a daily basis, and that just carrying him, even though he's a smallish dog, is just a no really. I just can't do it. So yeah, when you take him for a walk, you know, he'll sniff around and then he'll just flatly refuse to move after that. So he won't go out for walks anymore, and it's really sad. Yeah, he's outside. But we took her dog for a couple of walks in the woods. I'm very lucky where I live at the moment, although I am moving, but we're lucky in that we've got ancient woods on our doorstep. Actually, I'm going to tear first. And they are just stunning woods, full of wood anemones. I posted some pictures on my Instagram of the anemones. They're just gorgeous. And bluebells are coming up. Well, you know, the plant itself is up, but the flower isn't open yet in some places. I know in some places they are, but won't be long. I've got bluebells in my garden. They're up, but they're the sort of hybrid ones. The ones in the woods are traditional English ones, and yeah. And that's one of the ways apparently that you can tell by the flora. You can tell how old the wood is. So as I said, the wood is. And I'm putting it on the wrong bit of paper, but never mind. Well, I don't even know if I'm out of focus, out of frame. Put that there. Well, that was a bit easier than the last time, a little bit. Oh, and I forgot to scrunch. Oh, what is wrong with me? Never mind, I'll do this one differently. Doesn't matter. Not the end of the world, it's a piece of paper. So yeah, lovely woods. And we also have marsh area and heathland. So we're very lucky where we live, in that sense, at the moment where we live. And I'm going to scrunch this one. You're probably telling me you haven't scrunched. Oh dear. So I wonder how you're all getting on, whether you're making and what you're making. It would be lovely to know those sorts of things. Yeah, so I've seeing all the plants coming up in the garden. I've got my herbs are coming up. I've got lemon balm popping up absolutely everywhere. I'm sure you have too if you've got it in your garden, because it just spreads like crazy. And I've got doesn't matter if it's a bit skewy because I'm going to rip it. What else have I got? I've got oreganos coming up, thyme. You know what, this whole making business in front of a camera and talking and not concentrating is quite hard. Oh dear. So, what else have I got? Well, my raspberries have started sprouting. Roses are really coming on amazingly. Really healthily. Blueberries sprouting. So yeah, lots going on in the garden. And comfrey is the one that I was thinking about. Comfrey is sprouting crazily. Which comfrey is one of my favourites because as somebody who has an apothecary, I use it a lot. I don't use it much in the way of, well, I don't use it actually, I don't use it as in the way of a tea or anything like that, rarely anyway, have occasionally, but comfrey is not great taking as a tea on a regular basis because it can do liver damage, but it is, I mean, as a plant, it's called knitborn, and so as a plant for use to help heal, it's a very good one. Yeah, so I do grow it and I dry it, and then the other thing I do with it, and I'm sure some of you do if you're gardeners, is I use it for as a fertilizer for my garden. So I chop it up, the leaves up, and then I put them in a bucket. I'm just gonna, I see a lot of people doing this, and I've done it once, twice, but I'm not very good at it. But I'm just rather, because I didn't scrunch a couple of them up, I'm just gonna do this and try, and maybe I should ink them afterwards a little bit as well, and it will hide that rip a little bit, maybe. Oops. This, I have to say, I'm irritated by this glue. It doesn't, it just doesn't spread very well. It spreads too easily, and look, chunks of it come off, and it just drives me nuts. But it dries clear, and that's the beauty of it, I suppose. That's why people use it. But it's the first time I've ever used it. So yes, comfrey. So yeah, it's very healing for joints and things like that. And yeah, I quite like that actually. So I do, and as I said, I chop it up, put it in a bucket of water, and put a lid on it, and I leave it. I think that's really nice, sweet. I could even put that on another larger piece, which is what I'm going to do, I think. And I'm going to do the same with these, just a little bit. Yeah, and then after a week or two, or however long, sometimes I leave it a bit longer, I then pour it onto my plants, the water onto my plants, and it helps them because it's rich in, I think it's potassium, and all sorts of other good things that our plants need that I can't think of right now while I'm doing this. I mean, that's a whole other subject for me. I do spend a lot of time with my plants and studying herbalism, but trying to talk about it while I'm making is it's just too hard for me to do both. But yeah, I mean, you know, in terms of constituents of plants, things like that, it's just, wow, you know, I don't think I can remember everything, and I've got a terrible memory anyway. But you know, I mean, like lemon balm, for instance, is a great one for pain relief, and I use it in tea. I picked some of the tops yesterday, and it's lovely fresh. You can, what I usually do is pick it with mint, the early mint tops, and then I'll make a lovely delicious tea out of it. And then yeah, I'm going to definitely, this is the one that I didn't I've just realised what I've done. I've just ripped off the edge that I said I wanted to leave on. Oh dear me, it's turning into a bit of a disaster, but I'm sure you're laughing. Do laugh along with me. Laugh at me if you like. I don't mind. I can only think of one thing at a time. It's my brain has completely altered as I've got older, and I think it's exasperating for people because I take so long to answer a question nowadays. And my sister even said she noticed that, you know, I hesitate a lot when I speak, and it's just I'm trying to find the right word. Oh gosh. So there you go. So there's 4 little pretty little. I'm going to ink the edges of those just to make them stand out a bit more, and give them a bit of age, I suppose, sort of. Don't want to make them look grubby, but I mean, you know, it's just gives them a bit more definition, I think, doesn't it? So yeah, so I recommend, if you haven't got lemon balm, I recommend you get in some. But as I said, it does spread. It's like mint in that way. In fact, it is from the mint family, and it does spread everywhere. But I mean, you just pick it and have it in your teas. I dry it as well, and I mix it in with other herbs. As I said, I mix it in with mint and thyme. I mean, they're strong flavours, but they are refreshing, you know. They enliven you when you drink them. If you can take it as well as a nighttime tea as well. So, you know, I might mix it with chamomile and other herbs, particularly herbs that are a bit bitter, because there's almost a sweetness to lemon balm as well. So there you go. So those are my 4 little, just going to make sure that I kept in. I hope I did. How long have I been on? 32 minutes. Okay, I'm going to stop here. I don't want to go on and on. But I just wanted to pop on and say hello, and I won't be long before I finished my niece's book. I'll try and come on. I don't want to make any promises. I'll try and come on and do some more work. But yeah, so I'm just imagining I'm going to grab, just before I go, I'll just grab one of my, let's see if I've got a page. Yeah, I'll use this one. So this is just an eco die that I've done in the past. So imagine that on the front. That would look quite pretty. Actually, it goes that way. That would look quite nice. Actually, I'm not that keen on that one there. Yeah, so that one goes like that. In fact, I'm not keen on that one either. I think that one's too grungy. Just need maybe a plain piece of paper. But I think you get the picture. Let's see if I can find some coffee dye paper here. Yeah, I mean, that looks quite nice. Maybe stamp on, do a little stamp on it or something. Goes up like that. Anyway, you get the picture. You know what it's all about. And excuse me. So yeah, thank you for joining me, and I'll see you again next time. Won't be too long. Bye for now.